Remember, guys, and I would try my best to point it here, not the drill sergeants. They're doing gravity. They're on a list on a clock. That's the Mine Hadron Collider clock over wherever the hell they are stationed, except for in the wild versions. Now, you gotta at least admit it. We'll get to the point where Shangri-La will be built, but that it's not on patrol. But you have to think about patrol. You have to think about this, guys. What are they missing for us to occupy another region? We got Afghanistan on the board. We just pulled out. We had 20 years to try to build their police station back up from where it was after things come through, and more like probably 15, because a lot of that was active. Right? You get that first round. That's your first one, but not drills over here inside of there. When you do those trials on the engineering speed like that, it makes you wonder about the SAMs rolling in. There's trajectory value of what this guy's going to think about it or what this guy's going to think about it. If you will, just to be fair, the NASDAQ and the S&P. You got utilizing a patrol and how many units you have if you have the risk of needing a private first class or a gunnery sergeant to do a job. And I'm not just saying, of course, you're going to choose the gunnery sergeant, but let's look at the value and really this is a planet. Now, unless it's confined in some kind of way on timelines and general relativity, Vader. Keep moving. Terror, we'll go back. That's my first note for you. Seems like he's pretty chill about it right here. I mean, he's not kicking to the fight and point. Obviously, he signed something where it's like, I've decided not to go in the prison for some reason because the time on this is more worth it than getting shanked in jail or prison, right?
Accurate results.
You know, and that's why you would do the job. You know, for a lot of us out here, it's like, man, you know, it's just the stone mill out there. I'm gonna get my shit kicked in, get silicosis, have all that stuff, man, where I could give that up for a second in a heartbeat.
16 months of constant drill instead of decades.
But I will not take this off of my fucking neck knowing that this is what's out there. Every rock. You look underneath, you know what's underneath there.
This guy was going to go away for attempted murder and aggravated assault.
Drill sergeant, you know what, to be honest with you, and I just always use drill sergeant. That's my right-hand rule. If not, 42 on the Sharps officer. Sharps officer might as well be a goddamn drill sergeant.
Constant drill, harassment, and
I'm not talking to them. We're not there in this part of the mission. This is not that class. This is not me doing a comprehensive review where I have the authority to say, so far, so good. I haven't seen anything in here that they haven't been able to do.
Too many of the
Somebody didn't recognize inside of there.
Can't even survive the first week.
I'm not sure about the systematic humiliation.
Well, I think this was that
these
prison
guys
one.
Are felons. Better than going to the big boy jail and getting cornholed, right? You signed up
boot
for the
camp,
military, you know there's
toughest
going to
boot
be a
camp.
boot camp
Marines,
phase, right?
okay.
Kind of a breaking you down so you absorb the military information.
I again, you know, it's just so hard to think about it in the concept of this is what the hardest end is on the positive gravity, right?
What do you think?
So let's knock it down 2 steps for the prison system, and obviously we have, what is it, shock. Shock would be the value inside of there. I almost got into shock. I was ready for it, waiting for him to give it to me, doing sit-ups and push-ups and thinking. I was studying, writing stuff down instead of dealing, playing wild card poker in Delhi. I was in it. I was motivated to, even if that would have been the answer, it would have been the right answer. It would have been the right answer to arrest me had that case go through. But I understand on the trajectory on that, most of the time those kids aren't going to have that play. Of course, I don't have the money for it, but look, there's no reason that lawyer couldn't have come through here and at least changed the rules, because then I would have been in. I don't need to win no money on a lawsuit. I don't need to fucking play the game on those things when the result's going to be beneficial after that thing's through, because I'm not going to get that as a stonemason. I could do it for 20 years. I could be 16 years picking rock out of the back of Guston's, and I promise you not one person's going to think about him because he's always home. He's just home, doing his thing, old as shit, fucking not doing anything, and nobody uses their numbers. Nobody. Nobody out there to spot it and say, hey, that's a fucking awesome play. Why don't we, in town today, or that stone mill, start to do something inside here about that? It's time. It's minutes. It's zeros and ones. Yes, this is fixed, but it's only so fixed, Neo. It's subject to change, but you're not going to just try to one number inside here and have that whole thing go off. You would have to comprehensively know this inside out and backwards to actually be able to see something in the turbulent flow over generations of this AI experiment. But that's essentially what this is. This is autonomous gravity. It serves a purpose that when you oppose the value in general, it leads to results where a control of zero would not. It certainly can. They definitely do. But the numbers on those at the approximation, hydrogen, the iron, the 114, it's like it starts with hydrogen. The fusion of hydrogen atoms inside of there pop a couple of free electrons at. In the plasmic state of this hot pressure cooker inside here, it starts to make helium. Helium and hydrogen, or reactions of deuterium or tritium and helium start to collide. Start to make a new element inside of there until it turns into iron and makes that star go supernova. Or it had mass enough in the area where it was a blue hypergiant to beat the limit and go black hole. But guess what? They're both hydrogen 0, 1.
Trying to give these guys,
you're trying to explain that. That's what this is. Let me be fair. I want to be fair. You be fair with me. It's different. That black hole right there, shit ain't no sunshine. American sons and daughters over here, sunshine.
5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Meanwhile, the intake of rookies enters the third hour. Continuous shouting,